All right, it is now evening, still April 26th. I had that little bit earlier. And since then, what have I done? I took some drone shots of the elementary school construction for our local community Facebook page just to let people know what's going on. And I exported two DCP files. What is a DCP, you ask? Well, this past week I learned a lot about them. I think it's digital cinema projection, maybe. It's what most theaters use. I probably discussed this before. However, this past week I used my sometimes friend, sometimes foe AI. I think I used Google Gemini and Grok. I don't know if I used anything else to try to give me step by step how do I turn the timeline into a DCP friendly timeline, and then how do I export it. And I won't go into details, although maybe when I finish I will, because I would say I probably could have found, well, I probably could have found a better step by step on YouTube, but maybe not. The problem with AI is that you ask it one question, then it lists out all these steps. So you have to say, just tell me one thing at a time. And then when that one thing works, that's fine. And then you can move on. But then it doesn't always know what version. It doesn't seem to be very up to date in the versions. And so a lot of confusion, probably took 3 times as long or twice as long as it should have. I had to take the audio. I won't show you now, but, well, maybe I will. Well, no, I won't because I'm working on something else. So you got to put, not only you have to assign like dialogue, like 4 tracks of dialogue, 1 track of sound effects, 3 tracks of ambience, um, and then 2 tracks of music. And then you've got to spatially put them because it's a 5.1. So you have to put the dialogue basically in the center. Then you have to put the ambience sort of in the middle. Sound effects, it just depends. Room tone, you have to do separate from the rest of the ambience, at least according to everything I could figure out. And then music, it's sometimes stereo, but sometimes not. So you have to do this and that. And oh my gosh, I don't know if I spent 2 nights, probably 4 hours, 5 hours altogether doing that. Then I exported a file probably on Thursday. And at first blush, it looks really good, except when you look at it through this DCP-O-Matic that you can download and view for free just to make sure your files are working right, it doesn't show true colors. And so that's a little bit of, you got to get used to not seeing the right colors. And so you go, oh my gosh, the colors look washed out. Then you go back to the timeline, you look at it and say, oh, that's okay. So I did that. It turned out there was a mistake, my mistake in one of the scenes. So that one thing led to another. I had to fix that, had to fix something else. Went back, recorded some new sounds today, just today, put those in, which I showed you earlier. Those turned out pretty well. But of course, when you're listening on a home computer with little speakers, it's not big speakers and it's not 5.1 sound. So how's it really going to sound? Won't know till the first showing. So that was a lot of time. I did some more color correction. One thing led to another. And then I had created 2 timelines, 2 projects, the DCP and the regular. So when I fixed one, I either had to go fix the other or I had to keep both projects open side by side. You couldn't see them at the same time. And then copy a collection of clips from one timeline to the other, make sure they were in the right place. And then even then, I don't know, the color just, the more you look at it, the more you start nitpicking, just like everything else. So it's been, I wouldn't say it's been an exhausting week, but it has been. So I exported like 3 more DCPs, and I was just watching one as we started this. It looked good, and then I came to a scene and bang, it was not good. Went back into the timeline. I realized that I had color corrected a close up, but I hadn't color corrected the next close ups that were continuous in the same shot, except separated by clips. So I had to go apply the one color grade to the rest of them, the rest. And then I realized the wide shot, I had done the same thing. And I can't believe I did that, but that's why you check it 3 weeks out. 3 weeks from now, it will have screened, and I guess I'll probably, if I'm still upright and able to, I will report on how that went. While I wasn't working on the film, technically I was trying to promote it. I got some more replies from where I work and from other people. I decided I asked AI, maybe it's too much of a crutch. I just can't get good, timely information from other people because every circumstance is so unique, and every circumstances that one person has, the other person doesn't have. So I'm like, should I try to sell tickets beforehand? Like with a ticket service, there's one called Ticket Tailor that I looked into, it's a good service, but with the tickets only being $10, it takes like 80 cents. And then the bank fees, it adds up to like $1.50 per ticket. So I either add a service charge, which I always feel guilty about, or I take $1.50 out of $10, which is obviously 15%. And that is unacceptable. So I am doing a fairly low tech Google form, which I didn't realize how easy they were to make. They're so easy, it's pitiful. And so I'm just asking people to say, yes, I'm coming, which show you're coming to, how many people, do you want an email reminder, and do you want to pay me in advance? So that's gotten, I guess, okay response. So right now there's like 50 people going to one show and like 28 going to another. And if we could get 100 at each, that would be close to a miracle. If we could get like a little over 100 in Williamston and 75 in Grand Ledge, I would be happy. I might change that next week depending on how things go. So that just takes a lot of time. I printed out some flyers. We had a QR code that expired. So we had a bunch of flyers with a QR code that was dead. Fortunately, I found that out relatively early. I reprinted them, took them to someone. Someone else just crossed out the QR code. So I don't know. I don't know how much good all this will do. And then the Google form, not everyone's going to know about it. So some people are just going to show up and pay, which is fine. Even the people who filled out the form, most of them are just going to show up and pay, which again is fine. But I would feel a lot better going in if I knew that the theater wasn't going to be empty or just full of cast and crew, which, I mean, in Williamston, it's going to be 25% probably cast and crew or free tickets. In Grand Ledge, probably not quite that many, but what else? I'm sure I did some other tweaks on the audio. I got all the lines put in. I mean, I've seen it and heard it so many times that I obviously cannot judge at all how good it is, or so I just prayer hands. I mean, obviously I hope people like it and all that stuff, but I just hope it plays well. It looks decent. I know when I watch it, I'm going to see something or hear something that I'll just sort of, oh. But the beauty is, I can fix it. Probably other people won't notice it. So it just means literally watching the movie at least once or twice more straight through till I find a problem. Then I go and fix it, make a note. I've got to re-export a whole new thing. And so I'm doing that. Then yesterday I exported a ProRes file, a QuickTime file for other screening reasons. And it's a huge file. The DCP is like 160 gigs plus about a 4 gig soundtrack or audio track. But I think the ProRes was like 260 gigs. And I played it back and it looked really nice, but it was definitely dark. So now I got to figure that out. So uh, busy times. I hope this is, I don't know what it's learning you folks out there, but the journey continues. And I'll leave it at that. Hit the 10-minute mark, which I like to sort of keep them at. Thanks for watching. If you're a minute in Michigan, again, mid Michigan, within 2 hours, within 20 minutes or so of either theater, it would be cool to see you there and tell me, hey, I saw you on YouTube. And I won't sign any autographs because these days everyone's on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Next week I won't be here. So I don't know when I'll make my next report. See what goes on. I need to get this DCP into the theater this week. And then that's a whole other thing. Sorry. So we've got solid state drives. We've got a CFast card that I used in my camera, and I've got a reader. And so I was thinking I could just give that to the person. It would read it real fast, and then I could just get the drive back and use it for other stuff. Because the other option is to get I'd have to get like I'd have to get a 256 gig thumb drive, which I don't know, not super expensive, but so still lots of balls in the air, lots of plates spinning, but I am going to spin out of here right now and call it a night.